Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing stages 22 to 26 of the Fanhome release and build the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Are we back? We're back.
Now if the title didn't give it away, of course the shirt will give it away. I just love these shirts. I seem to be having them more and more on these videos. Today, as I said, we're going to be doing 5 stages. Looks like we're doing a lot of work towards the engine again. But we did have some unfinished business from last time. If you remember, we were creating the engine last time, looking like this. And I did have a part missing in my pack, which was namely the starter motor, which is going to go in there. Well, I've got that now, so I'm going to quickly put that in place. So this is the replacement stage 17 that I had. And if you remember, I had this, but I didn't actually have this side of the starter motor. And all I'm going to do is just press these two parts together. That's the solenoid on top of the starter motor, just like that. And then it's just a case of taking this and putting it into the side here. There is a locating lug just at the bottom. Get that in. And secure it in with an AP screw. And there we go, that's the starter motor in place. And that means now we're back on schedule to having nothing missing on this model. But that piece that I was missing in the last pack took about a week to come, so really good work, Fanhome. Thumbs up there. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen there. You can get this directly from Fanhome and start from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Now before I start this, look, check this out. We have got a t-shirt in this pack, which looks just like that. It's going to be a bit snug on me. It is a large, but I believe at the moment I'm a 2XL. We're not going to be talking about that. I'm playing Christmas coming, Thanksgiving coming. Who knows? We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm going to use any excuse for my lovely pot belly I've got here. But that is a free gift that we get at the moment. So here is stage 22 and here's the magazine. Look, loads of little details and hoses and pipes in this as well. So we're going to be adding onto the engine here. You see we've got manifolds, we've got the distributor here. We're going to be putting all the pipes in. So by the end of it, it's looking just like that. I'll continue going through the magazine. And it's like this pretty much for the next 5 packs. And as you can see with everything we've got here for stage 22, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so the first thing we want are these 2 tiny pieces here, which we're just going to be pushing together. They are sort of like keyed, so it can only go in one way, looking like that. And this is going to go onto this side of the engine into the hole that we can see just there. It's held in with an screw, and there is a locating lug, which is going to help you position this. And there you go. That's it nice and tight, just like that. Now we've got this cap going on the top of this section just here, like that. That's going to be held in with 2 AP screws. And I can just put that to one side once that's in. I then want this weird bracket looking like this, and I do have a part to put on top of it. Now they're not actually telling us in the instructions what each part are, so you can shout at the screen and let me know exactly what I'm putting in. But that's going to go in like that. It's lined up with the hole at the bottom, which again is going to need an AP screw. Most of this stage uses AP screws. So get the screw in there. Bring the engine back over. And once again, the part that we just put in there, this has got a locating lug, which is just going to locate that for us on top. And held in with an AP screw. See what I mean about fiddly stuff in this stage? Again, once that's in, put that to one side. And we're going to be bringing over the next section where we've got this hexagonal section here, which looks like it's some sort of distributor. It's just going to go over the top there. Once again, held in with AP screws from the underside. This time, it's 2 AP screws. And there's the second one going in there. So now that's looking like that. And then this whole thing here is going to fit on this bracket. Again, we've got a locating lug in the end, just like that. Again, another AP screw, just to keep that into place. From the underside, and there you go. Now onto this back end, we've got a bit of manifold to put on, which is going to go just over the top. So it's nice and flush there. You've guessed it, 2 AP screws. That's 1, and that one's 2. And now we're going to be putting this whole thing on the engine. So bringing that over here, this is actually going to be going in between everything onto the end, just like that. It's going to take 2 AP screws each side. So that's the bottom ones in. We've just got the top ones here. And they're in perfectly, just like that. Now I've got these little plugs, which are for the distributor cables, which are going to go all the way around here facing out. I am going to drop a bit of glue into each one. I don't want these falling out. Now they all face out in that sort of direction, so they're either coming to the left side or the right side. So what I'll do is I'll get all of these in and show you what that looks like. The pegs are tiny, as you can see here. So easiest way, just get one of these, put a bit of glue on it, line it up, and push it into place. Now when you push it in, you want to hold this from the underside so you get that all the way in, just like that. I'll do the same all the way around. And when they're all in, they should look just like that. All we're going to do then is put the hoses on. I want the short hose first. One's going in this side, just like that. And the other one is going to go into the nipple just there, like that. The second short hose goes on the other side, and again just onto the nipple which is closest on this side here. And again, you can put glue in these to hold those into place. Just for speed reasons, I'm actually just going to get straight on it. The medium size in the next one, going into the next nipple along, and the same on the other side. And then finally, just the long ones going on the end. So that looks like that, and that's all there is to do in this stage. Now, it is a shame that we are doing all this detail, but this whole thing is actually going to be hidden by the reactor plate when we actually put that in the car. But there you go, it's looking like that. So in stage 23, which I've got here, here's the magazine. Again, quite a lot of things that we're putting in here. We've got some brackets by the look of it for the alternator, and we're going to be mounting all of this in, so by the end it's looking just like that. And again, here is the rest of the magazine. I'll get out all the parts for this stage, and the first thing I need is this bracket here, which is going to go on the side of the engine, and it's actually going to be fitting just into the holes we got there. So basically it's going to be going in this way here, just like that. It's going to be held in with AM screws. Just take it as a given now that if I'm putting an M screw in, I have put this in oil, and get that nice and tight. Just put that to one side, because I'm just going to create the alternator now, which is just a case of piecing both of these parts together. This just goes together like this, and I'm holding that with an AP screw just through this whole side here. So that's the alternator done, and then this is just going to mount to the underside of the section we just put in there, just onto the bracket that this is created like that, and that's held in with an AP screw just from this side. And once we're happy we've got it in that way, we've got one more AP screw just to put in from the other side. That's going to hold that alternator in place. I've then got this bracket to put on, and that's going to be going over this hole here, and then you can see we've got a locating pin there just on the alternator, so it's going to go in just like that. That's held in once again with an AM screw, and just get that tightened up. That's going to ensure that alternator's going nowhere. Now on this side you can see we've got a hole just down the bottom. That's going to be for this dipstick. So the dipstick's going to go in there and just go into the hole just at the bottom. I will use my tweezers just to help push that in. Perfect. So that's in place. All we've got left to do is then put these brackets on. They're going to go on the sides just here. They're held in with DM screws. I'm going to use my PH1 screwdriver with these to get this in nice and tight. So one there, and the second one underneath, and just do the same on the other side here. Get that in nice and tight. Perfect. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 24, again, loads of parts of pulleys and belts now. We're going to be putting those all into place. So by the end of it, it's looking just like this. And again, here is the rest of the magazine. And there's a few of them, as you can see. Now, these are all labelled, these pulleys, so it's easy to actually figure out which ones we're using. So, let's bring over the engine. The first thing I need is the one labelled C. This is C, that's just going to go on there like that. Then I'm going to be taking B. Again, stamps. Make sure the letters are in the inside so you can't see them from the outside. That's going to go on top, and that's actually just created a pulley. And then when that one's in, we just want to take A, which looks like this. And that's just going to go on top of all of those together and hold everything in with an AM screw. Now, I've already loaded my screwdriver up here. Get that AM screw in. Make sure that's nice and tight. And there we go. We have created our first pulley. I now need the one labelled D. And that's going to go in this way, just on top there. And then the one that looks like a cone, which is labelled E, that's just going to go over the top, creating another pulley. And again, this time it's held in with an AP screw. Nice and tight. I need this one, which looks like a cog, which is going to go on the alternator that we fitted, which is down here. Get that one on like that. And then on top of that, we want the one that says G. I'm going to load up an AP screw ready, and it's going to go on this way. So we're creating another pulley in here. That's that one in. And then finally, the last pulley is just combined by putting the two that you have left together like this. And that's just going to go onto the end of this section at the top here again with an AP screw. I'm going to hold this whole thing into place. And then it's a case of just putting the bands on. So the first one we're going to put on is going to go around the 3 pulleys in the middle there. 1, 2, 3. And then the second one's going to be going from this top pulley here down to the bottom pulley there. They're all done, and that's all there is to do in that stage. The penultimate stage of this pack, which is stage 25. Again, a few little bits here from the exhaust by the look of it. So we've got a bracket to put on there, and then we're starting to put the manifold on. This looks like a nice quick stage. Here's the rest of the magazine. And this is everything that's in stage 25. Bringing over the engine again, and I've got this bracket to put on first. Now this first bracket has got a locating lug at the bottom. It's going to go in these holes here. So if I just put the locating lug in, that'll give you an idea of actually how this fits into there like that. And it's held in with AM screws. So that's one. And this one's the second one going in here. So that's in nice and tight on there. The second bracket we got looks like this. All these brackets are metal. That's going to go on the end just there. And again, that's 2 AM screws. Then I'm going to need some NM screws. Get these open, because I'm going to be protecting that whole belt by just putting this over the top here. So 1 NM screw in there, and 1 just on the other side. So that is now how that's looking. Excellent. All I want to do then is piece these 2 parts of the exhaust together. This section here is just going into the top of that section there. It's held in with an AP screw. So now that's 1 piece. Bring over the engine. And this side here is actually going to be connecting to this side over here. Like that. That's held in once again with an AP screw. Just get that in there. I'm not overly tightening it at the moment because I still have to connect this side in, which is just going to go on that side just there. And again, that's held in with an AP screw as well. Just like this. Now I can make that nice and tight on both sides. And that's that exhaust in. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage of that pack, we're going to be building onto that exhaust. As you see, we've got these parts here, which has got the silencer box in. looking just like this. It looks like we are doing our first drive shaft as well. So quite a lot to do actually in this stage. It's looking just like that. It does mean we've got to bring up the chassis of the car. I'll do that in a second when we need to. And the first thing I want to do is I want to take the D shape of this little pipe that's going to come out of this box here. Put that in there. It's going to be held in with an AP screw. And there we go. That's in like that. Going to do the same on the other side. These can be notoriously fiddly to do. But I think I've got mine in. I'm just going to make sure that it's actually in the indent there and tighten that up. There we go. That looks like that. We're now in a position to piece these two parts together like this. And they're held in with FP screws. And there's the second one going in there. Then it's a case of actually putting this on what we've just created here. So we're going to have this pipe here going into the larger hole on this side. And then I've turned it over so we can get this side in, which is just going to go on there like that. It's actually held in with an AM screw just through this hole. And make that nice and tight. I then have this little detail here, which is going to link the top of the exhaust to the bracket we put in there. It's going to fit in just like that. I think I might put glue in there. I don't want that to fall out. And that is pretty much the engine complete. Now we've got the fun of being able to put this now on the chassis. So I have that here. It's going to be going onto this back section here. So all I want to do is make sure I hold it this way and feed it in like this. And it's going to be held in from the bottom. So if I turn this over now, I can line up the hole there with how this is going to go in there like that. It's actually held in with a DM screw just through this hole. That's now holding the engine in place. I'm not making that overly tight because I've got two more DM screws just to put in the front here. On that side. And one this side. And now just tighten everything up as tight as I can get it. And the engine is now in the car. I have got a pipe come out here which I'll put back in. If it does it again, I'm gluing this in. It's looking good though, isn't it? Now in one of the previous packs we had a track rod looking like this, and I'm going to be putting another grommet just over the top of this like that. We want to make sure that the open side or the bigger side's facing towards this end here. Bring the car back over and turn it upside down. And I'm going to be having this going into the wheel that side. And on this side, it's going to be connecting just to the transmission there. It's held in with an EP screw. I'll get that in there. And then when that's in all the way, I can take that bush and now push that over the whole section here to hide that screw. Just like that. I'm going to be doing exactly the same on the other side. So again, push that in so the open end's over here. Push it into the hub carrier. And an EP screw to put that into place. Holding it from the underside so there's not much stress on there then. And then once again, just push this bush over the top. Just like that. I can get this one in more actually. Let me do that. There we go. That's all the way in. Once the drive shafts are in, we've just got these brackets now to put in. And they're just going to, probably best on the top camera, they're just going to go into this side like that there. They're held in with AP screws. So one in this side. Perfect. To do the same on the other side. That's in nice and tight and it should look like that from behind. But that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. And as you can see, we've done absolutely loads. The engine's in. I'm a happy man. I'm going to put that gently down so nothing can fall off or I mean to damage anything. But I'm really happy how this is going. If you like what you see and you want to do this for yourself, I have put once again a link on the screen and in the video description. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.